Thursday edition of Live Dogs, the show where we get you guys some picks with some value, help you make a little bit of extra money. And as always, we will start with the recap of yesterday. And it was bad. I got to be honest. We went 0 for 4 on the picks. A couple of tough losses. We lost on the Tigers versus the Brewers, despite the Tigers jumping out to an early lead. Actually, no, I don't think they did. It was the Giants versus the Rockies. The Giants jumped out to a 4-0 lead in the first inning, and I believe we're up 6-1 before ended up losing 9-6. So tough loss there. The White Sox versus the Twins. That was a pretty big beatdown for the Twins. And then the Diamondbacks versus the Dodgers. And the Diamondbacks had a 1-0 lead in the 9th. Let Mookie hit a home run, and then took a lead in the 10th, and then let up 2 runs to lose by walk-off. So even with the 0-4 week, we're only down half a unit on this week so far. So not too big of a hit overall, but definitely a bad day. So we're going to look to get back on track here. And the first game, we are going NBA with the Nuggets versus the Clippers. I'm going to take an alternative line, plus 6.5 for the Nuggets, and you can get that at plus 125 or somewhere around it. And this is really just because maybe I'm the only one that thinks this, but I didn't think the Clippers looked too impressive in their opening series, and especially at the beginning. They kind of took off once Porzingis got hurt. And if you guys remember, I did say that I thought Porzingis was going to be the X factor in the series because I didn't think they had someone to match up with them. But he got hurt, and that's when the Clippers kind of took off. And so I don't think they're playing too well right now. But obviously the Nuggets are on a good stretch coming back from that 3-1 deficit to take the series against the Jazz in that exciting Game 7 the other night. But one thing I do want to say is I don't think that Jamal Murray is going to keep his streak going. He didn't have a great game in Game 7, but obviously leading up to that, he was on a tear. But I think this is where we might see Nikola Jokic break out because, once again, just like with Porzingis, I don't think the Clippers have somebody that can guard him effectively. And, maybe Jokic takes that game-winning shot in Game 7 and carries on the momentum and has a good series. And but for today, we only need him to have a good Game 1, and I think that will happen. So I don't know if I'm sold that the Nuggets will win the game, but I definitely think it will be close, and I think 6.5 is enough to cover the potential fouling free throw game at the end of the game. So I think 6.5 is reasonable, and again, I'm at plus 125. Definitely feel a lot more confident than taking them on the money line. But that's pick 1 for today, and also the only NBA game for today. So we'll move right into MLB, where even before I get into this, I'll just come right out and say I thought the MLB slate was pretty bad for underdogs, so I had to go with a couple of run lines for my best favorites. So the first one here, we got the Dodgers to cover 2 runs, hope for at least a push at the very minimum, but it's only at even money versus the Diamondbacks, so it's not very often that you see a two-run line be even money. But it definitely should be here. We got Kershaw on the mound for the Dodgers. He's having a great year. He's 4-1 with a 1.8 ERA and only a .77 WHIP, which is fantastic. Versus Luke Weaver, a guy I've been going against all year pretty much, who is 1-5 with a 8.23 ERA and 1.76 WHIP. So obviously the pitching here isn't even close. Kershaw's back on his Cy Young form. He's allowed 1 earned run or fewer in 5 of his 6 starts this year. And Weaver, obviously, you can look at those numbers, has been a mess so far. So there's a lot of trends that push into the Dodgers' direction. I talked about it yesterday when I did pick the Diamondbacks, but that was just because I picked Gallen to have a good start, which he did. I think he went 7 scoreless. But the bullpen wasn't able to hold them off. And I did mention that every trend points towards the Dodgers, so we'll get more into that right now. In the last 2 weeks, The Dodgers bullpen's number 3 in ERA, while the Diamondbacks rank down at the bottom at 26th. The Dodgers bullpen's also number 1 in batting average of balls in play, while the Diamondbacks once again at the bottom in 28. So you already have a trend or an advantage at Kershaw, the starting pitcher, and now the bullpen isn't really that close either. So pitching advantage across the board. And then we get into batting, where it's more of the same. The Dodgers, number 1 in batting average of balls in play. Diamondbacks are last. Diamondbacks also are last in batting average, on-base percentage, slugging percentage over the last 2 weeks. I mean, no other way to cut it up other than that they're the worst hitting team in baseball right now. And I think yesterday goes to show that. They're only able to score 1 run for Gallen, who had a good start. But, yeah, so clear advantage for the Dodgers across the board in pitching and also at the plate as well. And another thing here is that Arizona ranks 27th in OPS the last 2 weeks versus left-handed pitchers, which obviously Kershaw is. And the Dodgers are number 3 in OPS versus right-handed pitchers this year. Or in the last 2 weeks, my bad. But literally everything points in the direction of the Dodgers here. And I think 2 runs is very realistic. I could see this being a blowout type of game. So literally no reason. Nothing points towards the Diamondbacks here. Not one single stat. So I'm going with the Dodgers to cover 2 runs at even money. And we will move into the third and final pick. I do have a lean, though, so hold on for that. But we're going with the Padres -2 again, this time at +135 versus the Angels. It's Mike Clevenger's debut for the Padres, who this year is 1-1, 3.18 ERA, 1.37 WHIP, going up against Andrew Heaney, 2-2, 4.6 ERA, and a 1.24 WHIP. So I would say Clevenger's the better pitcher here for sure. He's having a good season, but I think we know that he's capable of even better than this because he is that good. But it's his debut, and I think he's going to have a big outing in his first go as a Padre. I think there's a lot of motivation and excitement that goes into it, and I usually don't like to play for those types of reasons, but I am today. But also there's a lot of other things that point in the Padres' directions. In the last 2 weeks, the Padres are the best in the league in batting average, on base percentage, and slugging, the 3 major hitting stats. And meanwhile, the Angels rank pretty much lower in the pack in batting average at 19th and slugging at 26th. But one thing I will say is the bullpens are pretty close. Each team's bullpen, depending on what you're looking at, ranks top 10, bottom 10. But each time I click on a new stat, one will be ranked above the other. So I don't think there's much of an advantage in the bullpen by either team here. But the Padres are clearly the better team at the plate right now, because honestly, there's really no one in the league that's a better team than them right now. So I'll take the edge in pitching, the clear advantage in batting, and then along with the excitement of a debut, I think that's something the teams can rally behind. And I'm hoping for a big performance by everyone involved, and hopefully cover 2 runs versus the Angels. And then one lean, like I said, I didn't really like the slate in terms of underdogs, but we have the Nationals at +150 versus the Phillies. It seems like I have been taking the underdog in this series every game and never hitting it, so tail this one with caution for sure. This is, I believe, the second time that they've played this year, and I feel like I've gotten this series wrong every time. But hopefully that changes today. But yeah, that's it for today. I guess the Nationals are my one underdog pick, but other than that, we're going with some big favorites to cover some run lines in the MLB, and then obviously the Nuggets in the NBA. So obviously looking for a bounce back from yesterday. Try to regain some of the money that we lost yesterday. And I think that we can definitely do it. I don't think any of these picks are out of the realm of possibility. So I'll just run it back real quick. Nuggets alternative line plus 6.5. You can get that at plus 125, which I think is a great value. The Dodgers to cover 2 runs at even money. That shouldn't be a problem. And the Padres at -2, to cover 2 runs at plus 135 versus the Angels. And then along with the lean of the Nationals at plus 150 versus the Phillies. Looking for 2-2 worst case scenario. Definitely think that this could go 3-1 or even 4-0, end the league on a strong note like we did last week. But yeah, so I won't be back tomorrow. I won't be back Friday morning. I will be on here live at 6 o'clock previewing the UFC card this weekend. Got some exciting picks for you guys there. So be sure to tune into that. But if you're not a fight fan, maybe you can get into it. But if not, hopefully I'll see you guys back on Monday at 11 a.m. For this show going throughout the whole week. So, that's it for me today. Good luck with everyone's bets as always. And hopefully I'll see you guys soon.